Hi, guys. We're going to let people come into the room. I hate being late. I do apologize. I had some technical issues and I had to figure them out. So it took me about an hour. So I do apologize. And if you guys can still make it at this time, I would appreciate it. I still appreciate it. But yeah, I'm here now. So I'll just wait for some people to come into the room. Today we will be discussing chapter 3 of The Mountain Is You. And I think this chapter is about triggers. If I'm saying that correctly, triggers. Oh, hi, Delilah. Thanks for coming in. Thank you so much for being understanding. And I was just saying, I hate being late. That's one thing. Okay, I'm back. Guys, let me know if you can hear me. Y'all see my computer is acting up. So we'll try to get through this the best way that we can. Hopefully I don't have any issues with the Wi-Fi and things like that. And for some reason, when I actually really need my computer, the Wi-Fi gets to acting junky and janky. So hopefully it doesn't do that today. So did you guys catch me and Chris's live last night? I know Delilah was there, but did you guys see our live last night? We had fun. I didn't expect to be on there for 2 hours. And I was so tired. My jaw was tired for talking so much. It was a lot. But yeah, we had a live last night, me and my husband. And we were just talking about weight loss as a couple. And if you haven't caught that, please check it out. And he gives his perspective on his weight loss journey. I give mine. And I felt like it was fun. It was very like laid back and stuff like that. So let me know if you guys can hear me. Oh, excuse me. So yeah. So as we wait for more people to join, how's you guys' Sunday? Let me know how your Sunday is going. Uh-oh. Let's see here. Hey Michelle, how are you? Hey Felicia, how you doing today? Let's see. Okay. Can you guys hear me? And please like the live as you join, please. And let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. Let me see. I'll replay it too. 1 second. Okay. My audio is fine. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into chapter 3. I'm sorry I'm late, you guys, if you're just joining, but I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick. Okay. Let's see here. Hi, Sandra. How are you? Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. All right. All right. Chapter 3.
Chapter 3. Your triggers are the guides to your freedom. Now that you have begun to identify your self-sabotaging behaviors, You can use them to uncover deeper and more important truths about who you are as a person and what you really want and need out of life. This is an important part of the process because overcoming our self-defeating habits is not just about knowing what they are or why we engage in them. It is also about better understanding what our inherent needs are, what we really desire, and how we can use this as a pivot point to begin building a life that is aligned with who we really are and what we are here to do. Our triggers do not actually exist just to show us where we are storing unresolved pain. In fact, they show us something much deeper. Each negative emotion we experience comes with a message, one that we do not yet know how to interpret. This is when a single challenge begins to become a chronic issue. Unable to honor and use the guidance of the emotion, we shut the feeling down, store it in our bodies, and try to avoid anything that might bring it up again. This is when we become sensitive to the world around us, because there are a lot of repressed feelings mounting. On the surface, it seems as though the thing that triggers our emotional response is the problem. It is not. The problem is that we don't know what to do with how we feel, and therefore do not have all of the emotional processing skills that we need. When we can identify why something is triggering us, we can use the experience as a catalyst for a release and positive life change. How to interpret negative emotions. Though everyone's particular triggers are unique to them, it helps to better understand the function of some of the feelings that we often condemn. Some of the emotions that are most strongly connected with self-sabotaging behaviors are actually important for us to better understand. It is not about simply getting over them. It is
Sorry. Maybe it was my fan. Hold on. Okay.
about listening to what they are trying to tell us about our experience. Anger. Anger is a beautiful, transformative emotion. It is mischaracterized by its shadow side, aggression, and therefore we try to resist it. It is healthy to be angry, and anger can also show us important aspects of who we are and what we care about. For example, anger shows us where our boundaries are. Anger also helps us identify what we find to be unjust. Ultimately, anger is trying to mobilize us, to initiate action. Anger is transformative, and it is often the peak state we reach before we truly change our lives. This is because anger is not intended to be projected onto someone else. Rather, it's an influx of motivation that helps us change what we need to change within our lives. When we do not see it as such, we tend to bury it, not ever resolving the real issue at hand. This is when anger starts to cross over into aggression. When we take that energy out on those around us, as opposed to using it as an impetus to change ourselves. Instead of being afraid of anger, we can instead use it to help us see our limits and priorities more clearly. We can also use it to help us make big, important changes, both for ourselves and the world around us. Sadness. Sadness is the normal and correct response to the loss of something you very much love.
Okay. Okay, let me go through the comments. There's studies that show trauma your mother and grandma go through stores in your DNA since women eggs are created while in the utero. So the egg that created you is created while mom is being created. Wow, I've heard that too. Me and my sister talk about that quite often. Okay, you said the sound is better. Okay, good. I was worried. Yes, as someone who used to let people treat them as a doormat, I've learned that anger is a true gift. Oh, I know that's right. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and press play since the sound is good. And this is, I think this is 40 minutes. So I'll do the same thing. I'll pause it, stop, and read you guys' comments, and then I'll have my own commentary as well. So let's go ahead and get through this.
This is an emotion that often comes up in the aftermath of a disappointment. This could be the loss of a relationship, a job, or just a general idea of what you thought your life would be. Sadness only becomes problematic when we do not allow ourselves to go through the natural phases of grief. Sadness does not release itself all at once. In fact, we often find that it happens in waves, some of which strike us at unexpected times. We do not ever need to feel embarrassed or wrong for needing to cry, feel down, or miss what we no longer have. In fact, crying at appropriate times is one of the biggest signs of mental strength, as people who are struggling often find it difficult to release their feelings and be vulnerable. Guilt. Guilt tends to affect us more for what we didn't do than what we did. In fact, people who struggle the most with guilt are the people who are not actually guilty of something terrible. People who commit heinous acts tend to not feel much remorse. The fact that you feel bad that you could have done wrong by someone is a good sign in itself. However, guilt requires us to look deeply at what behaviors, if any, we feel badly about, as well as what we may have done that was not in our best interest. If we have treated others unfairly, we must be able to admit, apologize, and correct that behavior. However, if the feeling of guilt is more generalized and not specifically relating to any one incident, we need to look closely at who or what made us always feel as though we were wrong or inconveniencing others. Guilt is often an emotion we carry from childhood and then project current circumstances when we felt as though we were burdens to those around us. Embarrassment. Embarrassment is what we feel when we know that we did not behave in a way that we are proud of. Other people can never make us feel as embarrassed as we make ourselves feel. When you are truly and completely confident that you are doing the best you can with what you have in front of you, you stop feeling embarrassed all the time. Sure, others can make you feel bad with their comments or ideas, but even their worst judgments tend to be neutralized when we accept ourselves and feel proud of who we are. Shame is the shadow side of embarrassment. This is when the natural, occasional feeling of being embarrassed into a way for us to completely condemn ourselves as human beings and begin to see ourselves as worthless and invalid. When we do not process the feeling of embarrassment, it tends to turn into something far darker. Jealousy. Jealousy is a cover-up emotion. It presents as anger or judgment, when in reality it is sadness and self-satisfaction. If you know what you truly want out of, look at the people who you are jealous of. No, you may not want exactly what they have, but the feeling that you are experiencing anger, that they are allowing themselves to pursue it, while you are not. When we use our jealousy to other people's accomplishments, we are siding into its shadow function. When we use our jealousy to show us what we would like to accomplish, we begin to recognize the self-sabotaging behavior and get ready to commit to what we actually desire. You can think of it this way. When we see someone who has something we really want, but we are suppressing our willingness to pursue it, we must also condemn it in them so we can justify our own course of action. Instead of this, we can see what we'd also like to create. Resentment. When we resent people, it is often because they did not live up to the expectation of them that we had in our minds. Resentment, in some ways, is like a projected regret. Instead of trying to show us what we should change, it seems to want to tell us what other people should change. However, other people are under no obligation to live up to our ideas of them. In fact, our only problem is that we have an unrealistic expectation that someone was meant to be exactly as we think they should, or love us exactly as we imagined they would. When we are faced with resentment, what we instead must do is reinvent our image of those around us or those we have perceived as having wronged us. Other people are not here to love us perfectly. They are here to give us lessons, to show us how to love them and ourselves better.
Whew. What y'all think about that? That was deep. Each emotion that they brought up, it kind of like punched me in a way. And I just thought about different scenarios from different people in my life and how I thought that they should have, behaved. And that kind of gave me a new perspective on, how I should look at things. Let me go through the comments really quick. I don't want to get too far. Delilah says, remember to like the live. Please do. It helps me out a ton. Felicia says, I've grieved myself many times, but I'm happy to hear that means I've gained mental strength. Yes, that is correct. Beautiful. I am colored. Hi, how are you? I haven't seen you here before. Are you new? I'm glad to have you. Thanks for joining. Okay, she says guilt affects more of what we didn't do versus what we did do. And I completely agree. By the way, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you too. And we are glad that you are here. Delilah says, ouch, I felt that too. I told y'all she was punching me. Everything that she said. Okay, hi, Amiga. And everybody is just saying hi to one another. Delilah says, that's the hard part, treating us the way we imagine they would. Exactly. Or, treating people how you treat them. So like for me, I try to treat people very, very well. And that's my expectations of people, to treat me as if how I treat them, and that's not always the case. Usually it's never the case. But I had to deal with that a lot. Like, why would someone act like this or treat me this way when they get, the best treatment out of me? But you cannot control people. So you need to go back and listen to her again. Emotion one at a time till I get it all. There's so much here. Great idea, Sandra. Okay. Can you guys hear me? I'm having tech issues like crazy, but I'm back. Okay. Okay, Delilah says you guys can hear me. I am so sorry, you guys. My internet is not giving me the best. It's not working the best today. So, oh, you guys can't hear me? Oh, okay, good, good. Okay. So we're gonna go right back in. And again, I do apologize. So let's get right back in.
We can see them for who they are and the role they are meant to play in our lives. Instead of focusing on how they should change, we can focus instead on what we can learn. Regret. Much like jealousy, regret is also another way that we show ourselves not what we wish we could have done in the past, but what we absolutely need to create going forward. The truth is that most people regret what they did not do more than they ever regret what they did. This isn't a coincidence. Regret isn't actually trying to just make us feel bad that we didn't live up to our own expectations. It is trying to motivate us to live up to them going forward. It is trying to show us what it is absolutely imperative to change in the future and what we really care about experiencing before we die. Didn't travel when you were young? Regret is showing you that you should do it now. Didn't look as nice as you wanted to? Regret is showing you that you should try harder. Made choices that didn't reflect your best self? Regret is showing you that you should make different ones now. Didn't love someone while you had them? Regret is showing you that you should appreciate people now. Chronic fear. When we cannot stop returning to fearful thoughts, it is not always because there is an actual threat in front of us. Often, it is because our internal response systems are underdeveloped or sidelined by trauma. When we are in a state of fearful thinking, it doesn't matter what we are afraid of. The thought process follows us from problem to problem. Often there's a metaphor encoded within it. For example, we may be afraid of an ultimate loss of control or some external force coming in and unraveling our progress. Regardless, chronic fearful thinking often comes back down to feeling the need to focus our energy and attention on a potential threat so we can protect ourselves from it. We imagine that if we are worried, anxious, or angry about it, it will remain within our awareness and therefore cannot surprise us. We can retain some control over it. The very act of holding these fearful thoughts within our minds is exactly how the fear is controlling us in the first place. It is derailing our lives right now because we are channeling our energy into something that is outside of our control, as opposed to using it for everything that is actually within our control. The habits, actions, and behaviors that would actually move our lives forward. In this sense, what we are afraid of is really a projection of what's already happening. The only true way to get over chronic fear is actually to get through it. Instead of trying to battle, resist, and avoid what we cannot control, we can learn to simply shrug and say, and if that happens, it happens. The second we are able to shrug, laugh, or even just throw our hands up and say, whatever, it will be fine, we instantly take back all of our power. What keeps the fire of fear raging is the idea that if we accept what we are afraid of, giving in to the worst potential outcome. The truth is that when we stop being afraid of what we cannot control and know instead that nothing can possibly ruin our lives more than we are ruining them with our negative, distracted, and irrational thinking and focus, we are completely freed. When we are in full acceptance, fear leaves our consciousness and becomes a non-issue. It is at this point we realize that it always was. Our internal guidance systems whisper until they scream. The things that are bothering you most right now are not external forces trying to torture you for the sake of it. They are your own mind, identifying what in your life can be fixed, changed, and transformed. If you continue to not take action, the siren will only get louder. And if you never learn to listen to it, you will probably just disassociate from it and then be a victim to it. You already have the answers. You already know what you're here to do. You are here to create everything that would make you happier than you can imagine. It is only a matter of quieting your mind enough so you can feel all of the unlimited potential that is begging you to be used. There's no such thing as self-sabotage because the behaviors that you think are holding you back are really just meeting your needs. It's not a matter of trying to push yourself beyond them. It's a matter of seeing them for what they are and then finding better, healthier ways to fulfill them. Though we live in an age where people tend to tell us that we should be entirely self-sufficient and to want or need another person's presence, validation, or company is a sign of self-sufficiency, that is not an accurate portrayal of what it means to be human, and it severely overlooks the reality of human nature and connection. Though many people are codependent and lean far too heavily on others to give them a sense of safety and self, leaning too far the other way, where you believe that you don't need anyone or anything and that you can do everything yourself, is not healthy either. They are two opposite manifestations of the same wounds, which are mistrust and the inability to connect. Your need to feel validated is valid. Your need to feel the presence of another person is valid. Your need to feel wanted is valid. Your need to feel secure is valid. Often the first reason we start neglecting our essential needs is because we think we are weak for having them. We only believe this because when we were young, we did have to rely almost entirely on others to meet our essential needs. Eventually, this fails us because another person cannot fulfill us entirely, nor are they responsible for it. As we grow up, we learn self-sufficiency. In fact, reliance on oneself for the foundation of our basic needs is an important part of a person's development. In the same way, it is also important that we recognize we cannot meet every single one of our needs on our own. Human beings are hardwired for connection to others and to a group. This is why we exist in subsets, like communities and families, and generally feel happiest and most fulfilled when we are doing things that serve the greater good. This is a fundamental and healthy part of who we are, and it is not a sign of weakness. In other cases, your need to feel financially secure is healthy. It is not always a product of you being greedy or ill-intentioned. Your need to be validated for the work that you do is healthy, and it is not always a product of you being vain. Your need to live in a space and area that you enjoy being in is healthy, and it is not always a product of you being ungrateful for what you have. Your subconscious mind is trying to communicate with you. Within our self-sabotaging behaviors lies incredible wisdom. Not only can they tell us how and what we have been traumatized by, they can also show us what we really need. Embedded within each self-sabotaging behavior is actually the key to unlock it, if only we can understand it first. These are a few brief examples of how your subconscious mind might be trying to communicate with you through your behaviors. The way you are self-sabotaging. Going back to the same person who broke you in a relationship. This could be a platonic friend, but is most commonly a former romantic partner. What your subconscious mind might want you to know? It could be time to evaluate your childhood relationships. If you find something comforting or appealing about someone who hurts you, there's usually a reason. The way you are self-sabotaging.
Oh man, that last part hit me like a ton of bricks. Let me read the comments. Okay. All right. She said it's popping, not as bad as earlier. Yes, our own mind's helping us out, but we just learn to listen. Little Lida says, ouch. Are you feeling this? Oh my goodness. Okay. I just wanted to go through the comments really quick and I'll jump right back in.
Attracting people who are too broken to commit in a real way. What your subconscious mind might want you to know? You are not too broken to find someone who actually wants you. And when you begin to recognize that you are worthy of being committed to, you'll start choosing partners who do just that. The way you are self-sabotaging. Feeling unhappy, even if nothing is wrong, and really you've gotten everything you've wanted in life. What your subconscious mind might want you to know? You are probably expecting outside things to make you feel good, rather than relying on changing how you think and what you focus on. No outward accomplishment is going to give you a true and lasting sense of inner peace, and your discomfort, despite your accomplishments, is calling your attention to that. The way you are self-sabotaging, pushing people away. What your subconscious mind might want you to know? You want people to love and accept you so much that the stress of it all makes you isolate yourself from the pain, effectively creating the reality you're trying to avoid. Alternatively, needing solitude too often usually means there is a discrepancy between who you pretend to be and who you actually are. When you show up to your life more authentically, it becomes easier to have people around you, as it requires less effort. The way you are self-sabotaging, automatically believing what you think and feel is true. What your subconscious mind might want you to know? You want to worry because it feels comfortable and therefore safer. The more you blindly trust every random thought or feeling that passes through you, the more you are going to be at the whim of what's happening around you. You must learn to steady yourself in clarity, truth, and groundedness, and to be able to mentally discern between what is helpful and what is not. The way you are self-sabotaging, eating poorly when you don't want to. What your subconscious mind might want you to know? You are doing too much, or you're not giving yourself enough rest and nourishment. You are being too extreme. This is why your body is requiring that you continue to fuel it. Alternatively, it could be that you are emotionally hungry. And because you are not giving yourself the true experiences you crave, you are hunger another way. The way you are self-sabotaging. Not doing the work you know would help move your career forward. What your subconscious mind might want you to know? You might not be as clear as you think you are on what you want to be doing. If it isn't flowing, there is a reason. Instead of trying to push through and continually hitting the same again, take a step back. Maybe it's time to regroup, re-strategize, or seriously think about why you're trying to take the steps you are. Something needs to change, and it's probably not just your motivation. The way you are self-sabotaging, overworking. What your subconscious mind might want you to know? You do not have to prove your value. You do, however, have to stop running from the discomfort of being alone with your feelings, which is very often the reason that people overwork. There is a difference between being passionately committed to something and feeling obligated to outperform everyone else. One is healthy, the other is not. The way you are self-sabotaging, caring too much about what other people think. What your subconscious mind might want you to know? You are not as happy as you think you are. The happier you are with something, the less you need other people to be. Instead of wondering whether or not someone else will think you are enough, stop and ask yourself, is my life enough for me? How do you really feel about your life when you aren't looking at it through the eyes of others? The way you are self-sabotaging, spending too much money. What your subconscious mind might want you to know? Things secure. You will not be able to purchase your way into a new life or identity. If you are overspending or spending outside of your means on a regular basis to the point that it is detrimental to you, you need to look at what function buying or shopping serves. Is it a distraction, a replacement for a hobby, or an addiction to the feeling of being renewed in some way? Determine what your needs really are, and then go from there. The way you are self-sabotaging, dwelling on past relationships, or continually checking up on exes. What your subconscious mind might want you to know? This relationship affected you more than you are letting yourself believe. The ending hurt you more than you acknowledged, and you need to process that. Your continued interest in this person means there's something about the relationship that is still unresolved, and it is probably some kind of closure or acceptance that you need to find for yourself. The way you are self-sabotaging, choosing friends who always make you feel like you're in competition with them. What your subconscious mind might want you to know? Wanting to feel better than people is not a replacement for needing to feel connected to them, but that's often how we use it. We do this not because we actually want to be superior, but because we want to seem valuable and valued. What we want is authentic connection and to feel important to others. But making them feel inferior is not the way to accomplish it.
Oh man, actually, I ended a friendship just based off of that situation right there. And I probably didn't give her the closure that she needed. But once I'm done, I'm done. I'll give you guys a quick story. And maybe this will be a good book for her. But I just remember one time I went to her daughter's birthday party. And this is like 4 years ago. And it was supposed to be a very small get together. And I go in, she's like, oh, it's a bunch of people here. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. Not a problem. So I had my daughter there because our daughters was around the same age. And I go there and she complimented me on my shoes. I'm like, oh, thank you. I got them when me and Chris went to Vegas. And the sly comment that she made was, I don't care that you went to Vegas. I'm like, okay. I wasn't saying that to throw it in her face or anything like that. I was just saying it because that's where I bought the shoes. So as I got into the party, I'm just greeting everybody. And her husband comes and speaks and he compliments the shoes too. She's having a whole nother conversation with another person. But, I used to always have conversations with the both of them. So we were all like just really cool. And she jumps in the conversation and is like, oh, she got them for Vegas. Like we care. And I'm like, why did she say that? And it embarrassed me. It embarrassed me because I'm like, why are you doing this? I'm coming here and I'm supporting your daughter. I'm bringing gifts. I'm actually coming here genuinely. And it was just like, I just felt like she had a target and I was the target. So I left that party and I never talked to her again. Like I never spoke to her again. And I just couldn't bring myself to like have the conversation with her because I don't like when people invalidate my feelings if I bring it up to them. So I kind of figured like it was going to invalidate everything that I was going to say. And I think she was going to probably lie about it too. But I was like, you know what? I don't need this type of behavior around me. I don't need that. So I just left. I picked my baby up. My daughter was much younger. And I left. She kept reaching out to me and she's like, I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did. I really just miss my friend. But it just made me think like, you didn't miss your friend. You just thought that I was the type of friend that would go for that type of behavior. Not me. I don't do that. So, and I don't like to be like pointed out in a crowd and embarrassed like that. So once you embarrass me or you try to like, front on me, as they say, I'm done. So I haven't talked to her. I was so done. Maybe she need to listen to this, but I wish her well. Let me go ahead and read the comments. Let's see. I'm sorry. I kind of missed a bunch of comments. Okay. Journey of Life says, I was neglected emotionally by everyone around me, and I didn't know I was turning to food for comfort myself. Oh my goodness. It's so many people that says the same thing. At one point, I've done that. I try to, just find things to escape, my reality. Whether if it was just my phone, like I would just start looking at things I probably shouldn't look at, like pop culture BS that doesn't even pertain to me in my life. And I kind of like, wanted to mirror my life through them, which is crazy. But then again, I think about how my parents were raised and why they did that to me. It makes sense now. Okay, beautiful. I am colored. That part. The happier you are with something, the less you need others to be happy for you. Exactly. Felicia says, whoo, that hit hard. I try to keep my mom alive from a terminal illness for years. I overate the entire time and I didn't know why. Now I do. I was trying to refuel myself in a different way. Yes. Delilah says, all the above. Beautiful says, wow, that's powerful, Felicia. Felicia says, thank you. Delilah says, I have many friends like that. I've asked why is everything a competition? Exactly. Yes. Like the good I see for myself is what I want for you too. But some people don't see it that way. Michelle, I'm so sorry to hear that. Both of you SoCal baddies. Okay, I'm just going to run through this really quick. Jealousy at its finest. And I really didn't want to believe that it was that, And I actually never told her. I just, like I said, I never talked to her again. It's been over 4 years. I was done. Yep. Yes, sometimes relationships are seasonal. Perhaps that was it. Yeah, and that's why I didn't really grieve the relationship. I honestly just accepted it for what it was. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm done because we never had that type of like discourse amongst each other. I mean, I would see subtle things, but it was never to that degree. But I like to nip stuff in the bud right away, depending on the person. But I was done. Oh, okay. Hugs, Felicia. When you know better, you do better. I'm not better than you, and you're not better than me. So why can't we just celebrate each other? Exactly. Okay, let me hop back in, guys. Oh, one more. The thing is, you don't know how she would respond for real. You can only assume, however, regardless of what the response would have been, you didn't need that in your life. Exactly. I just thought it was just going to be an excuse like, oh, I didn't know you felt like that and da-da-da-da. And again, I was just done. Like, and I feel like that was the time where I just started to emotionally mature, and I'm really start to see like, okay, this person doesn't like me. You want me around, but you don't like me. So why would I be around for that? That's abusive. I remember being 6 years old watching cartoons in my room, and I ate an entire bag of Cheetos, family size. It was bigger than me. My sister walks in and flips the bag over and says, "You ate it all." I felt so bad. Oh my goodness. Um. Oh man. Yeah, she didn't like me. Yep, she did not. All right.
The way you are self-sabotaging. Having self-defeating thoughts that hold you back from doing what you want. What your subconscious mind might want you to know? Being mean to yourself first will not make it hurt less if other people judge or reject you, though that is why you are using this defense mechanism. Thinking the worst of yourself is a way of trying to numb yourself to what you really fear, which is that someone else could say those things about you. What you don't realize is that you're acting as your own bully and enemy by doing it to yourself. What could someone else's judgment realistically do to your life? Honestly, it could stop you from pursuing your dreams, ambitions, and personal happiness. And that's exactly what you're doing when you stay fixated on those damaging ideas. It's time to get out of your own way. The way you are self-sabotaging. Not promoting your work in a way that would help you move forward. What your subconscious mind might want you to know? You're not creating the best possible work you can, and you sense it. The reason why you're holding back is a fear of judgment, but that wouldn't exist if you weren't already judging yourself. You have to create things you are proud to share. And when sharing them in a positive way that helps grow your business or career feels natural and authentic, you will know that you are doing the work that is at the best of your ability or potential. The way you are self-sabotaging. Ascribing intent or worrying that things are about you when they aren't. What your subconscious mind might want you to know, you think about yourself too often. Other people's lives do not revolve around you, nor do their thoughts. They are busy thinking about themselves in the same way that you are thinking about yourself. Remember that patterns in your life are indicative of your own behaviors. But imagining that every time someone cuts you off in traffic is a personal attack, you're going to severely hold yourself back because you'll always be the victim of something. The way you are self-sabotaging. Staying in a city or town you claim to dislike. What your subconscious mind might want you to know? Home is where you make it, not where you find it. Is this an issue of you being unable to move, or are you simply unwilling? Usually when we stay in the same place, there's a reason. There's something we love about it, and it's where we want to spend our lives. The resistance comes in because of the judgment we imagine others may think if they know we don't live in the coolest, biggest, or the best area. You may also fear that people will judge you for not having progressed enough. The truth is that you are judging yourself, and you need to make peace or take pride in why you choose to live where you do. The way you are self-sabotaging. Mindlessly scrolling through social media as a way to pass the time. What your subconscious mind wants you to know? This is one of the easiest ways to numb yourself because it is so accessible and addictive. There is a world-altering difference between using social media in a healthy way versus as a coping mechanism. Mostly, it has to do with how you feel after you're finished. If you don't put the phone down feeling inspired or relaxed, you're probably trying to avoid some kind of discomfort within yourself. The very discomfort that just might be telling you that you need to change. Learning to listen again. Now that you're starting to pay attention to your internal cues, It is important to understand how to listen to yourself and respond in real time. You are in the situation you are in now because you did not know how to understand or meet your needs in the moment. If you do not want to constantly have to be fixing your choices and behaviors, you have to learn how to process and interpret your feelings in real time. This will be done by a process of building emotional intelligence, which will be primarily done in the next chapter. However, this is where we begin, by understanding how to listen to our instincts. How to follow your gut without getting scared of the future. One of the most essential tenets of modern wisdom is the idea that deep down, you know the truth about everything in your life, and, by extension, your future. The idea is that you are an oracle unto yourself, and your feelings are apertures into not only what's happening now, but what's going to happen soon. We're not to blame for believing this. There's a significant amount of research that proves the interconnectedness of our brains and bodies, explaining why, when we have a gut feeling or an instinct that precedes logic, it is often correct. This is because the lining of our gastrointestinal system functions as a second brain, given how it stores a backlog of information that your conscious mind can't recall faster than your body can sense. It is this incredible skill that makes your instinct almost always correct. Your gut, though intelligent, isn't psychic. If you want to tune into yourself more, follow your heart, pursue your passion, find your soul, whatever it is, the first thing that you have to understand is that your gut instinct can only respond to what's happening in the present. If you have an instinct about a future event, you're projecting. This is how you can start breaking down your gut feelings. Are you responding to someone who is in front of you, or are you responding to your idea of them in your head? Are you reacting to a situation that's playing out right now, or are you reacting to one you imagine, assuming you know how it will go? Are your feelings regarding what's happening right now, or what you hope and fear will happen in the future? Aside from only really being able to function in the present, your gut instinct is also quiet. The little voice within is just that, little. It does not scream. It does not panic. It does not pump your body with adrenaline to get your attention. It is not angry. It is the wave of clarity that overcomes you in the middle of your darkest moments, in which something tells you, it's going to be all right. It's not as bad as you think. Everything is okay.
Man, this is like therapy to me. I don't know about you guys, but this is helping me so much. And I actually been jotting a few things down. And these are the questions that I have for myself. Like when I say negative things about myself, is that like a defense mechanism so that I can say it out loud before somebody say it about me? And then, I mean, it doesn't hurt as bad. That's what I kind of jot down here. And I'm trying to get out of that, self-degrading, self-deprecating. I need to stop that because I don't really feel that way about myself. It's kind of like, I'm saying it before it's said to me so it won't hurt me, if that makes any sense. And then I'm asking myself, like, why am I like this? Why do I feel this way about myself? And I think that's something that I probably need to go back and think just from my childhood. Maybe it's something that I experienced back in the day that I just, kind of pushed all the way down and, not thought too much about. So I don't know. It's definitely very, very like insightful, and it's hitting me. So I'm not as talkative and as I normally am because I'm going through it. I'm just in my own head right now. So let me go through the comments. All right. Delilah, for sure. She was being mean and way out of line. She was definitely wearing her jealousy face on. Look at Shy. She's such a sweet. I'm so glad to have a community like this because you guys are so sweet. Yeah. Delilah, it's okay. It's just little things that we remember. It hurts. It stays with us, but never actually dealt with or faced. For sure. I'm so glad I'm not dealing with that. No, absolutely not. Did I skip one? I hope I didn't skip anybody. Okay. Journey of Life says, beautiful, I'm colored. Right. Some stay for a reason while others for a lesson learned. Exactly. Let me go. I used to dim my light, especially at work, because I thought I was being considerate of others' insecurities. I made a decision to turn the high beams on consistently. Exactly. And I think I said that maybe this past stream or the stream before last is that, like, why am I lowering myself for others? And I feel that way now. Like, why do I self-deprecate? I hate that. And honestly, I don't like when other people do it to themselves either. Like, I say this to other people when they're speaking negatively on themselves, probably because I do it too in my mind. Like, if I hear someone say something negative about their self, I'm like, why would you say that about yourself? Why do you think that? Like, because I don't think that about you. Oh, indeed. Delilah says, I had friends who, when I would lose weight, stop talking to me because now you lost weight. You think you're better than, oh my goodness, when they really never talked about it. I hate the intention. So no. Yes, beautiful in color, especially at work, is crazy to me. Journey of Life says, Delilah, unbelievable. Instead of saying, good for you, good for you for getting your health back, F them. Man, I'm sorry, babe. Yeah. At Delilah, sometimes people want to keep us in the space they first found us. And when we grow out of that space, they don't know how to evolve with you. That's true. This is definitely therapy. I'm feeling like very touched. Very, very touched. Is there a workbook that goes with this book? Yes, they do have it on Amazon. So you can get the workbook on Amazon. I seen it recently. That's how I know. I couldn't agree more. Beautiful. Hey, Sandra. Journey of Life says, hey, Sandra. A Journey of Life said that would be a great idea. Yep. I do believe I might have to find the link, but I do think there is a workbook. Okay. So we got about 13 minutes left. I'm just going to go breeze through it, if you guys don't mind, and then we can chat after.
Your gut instinct functions to make things better, whereas your imagination can often make things worse. But this is often confusing to people because which feelings are your instincts and what are your fears or doubts or limiting beliefs? How do we know the difference? Well, your instincts aren't actually feelings. They are responses. If you find yourself particularly drained after spending time with someone or are feeling like you don't want to see them again, that's your instinct. If the work that you do exhausts you and every bit of it is forced and undesirable, that is your instinct. Instinct is not a feeling. You don't have an instinct that you're sad today. Instinct is quickly moving yourself out of harm's way without having to think about it. You have to remember that your feelings, while valid, are not often real. They are not always accurate reflections of reality. They are, however, always accurate reflections of our thoughts. Our thoughts change our feelings. Our thoughts do not change our instincts. What you naturally gravitate toward or away from is your instinct. It's not something you feel or interpret. It's something you naturally do. When people talk about using their instincts to craft a life they love, this is what they mean. That they are obeying what their subtle intuition tells them they feel best doing. Sometimes your instinct can move you toward your art, even if it makes you uncomfortable and resistant. Sometimes your instinct can move you to keep working on a relationship, even when it's hard. Your instinct doesn't exist to ensure you feel comfortable and ecstatic at all hours of the day. It moves you toward what you are meant to do because it shows you where your interests, skills, and desires intersect. Instinct and fear can feel similar. To trust your gut is not to treat it as an oracle. This is when the concept becomes so problematic. We are not only believing random feelings blindly, but also applying future meaning to them, assuming that everything we feel is actually warning us or showing us what's ahead. Let's unpack why and how this happens, and how you can prevent it from ruining your life. Feelings do not inform you of the right decision to make. Right decisions create the right feelings. Your feelings are not intended to guide you throughout life. That is what your mind is for. If you were to honestly follow your every impulse, you would be completely stuck, complacent, and possibly dead, or at the very least in severe trouble. You aren't, because your brain is able to intervene and instruct you on how to make choices that reflect what you want to be experiencing long term. You begin experiencing feelings of peace and joy in your life when you condition yourself to take repeated daily actions that facilitate clarity, calmness, healthfulness, and purposefulness, not the other way around. If you want to master your life, you have to learn to organize your feelings. By becoming aware of them, you can trace them back to the thought process that prompted them. And from there, you can decide whether or not the idea is an actual threat or concern, or a fabrication of your reptilian mind just trying to keep you alive. Remember, your brain was built for nature. Your body was designed to survive in the wild. You have an animalistic form trying to navigate a highly civilized modern world. Forgive yourself for having these impulses, and at the same time, understand that your choices are ultimately yours. You can feel something and not act on it. So why are we even told to listen to our instincts in the first place? Your gut is deeply connected to your mind. There's a physiological connection between your gastrointestinal system and serotonin production in your brain. Your vagus nerve runs from your gut to your head, acting as a communication device to help your system regulate. Your stomach and your mind are inherently connected, which is why people allude to just knowing something deep down, or explain that when they're upset, they're sick to their stomach, or had a gut reaction to something. What isn't being addressed is the fact that listening to your instinct is something that happens in the present moment. You cannot have an instinct about a future event because it doesn't exist yet. You can have a fear-based or memory response that you are projecting into the future, but you cannot instinctively know something about another person or a future event until it is in front of you. When you have a gut instinct about someone, it is after interacting with them. When you know whether or not a job is right for you, it is only after having done it for a while. The problem is that we are trying to use our instincts as fortune-telling mechanisms. Our brain's creative way of trying to manipulate our body to help us avoid pain and increase pleasure in the future. But that's not what happens. We end up stuck because we are literally trusting every single thing that we feel instead of discerning what's an actual reaction and what's a projection. Identifying the difference between instinct and fear. First and foremost, understand that your instinct can serve you immensely in the present moment. Your first reaction to something is very often the wisest reaction. Because your body is using all of the subconscious information you have logged away to inform you about something before your brain has an opportunity to second guess it. You can use this to your advantage by staying in the moment and asking yourself, what is true right here and right now? What is true when you are with another person, activity, or behavior? What is the deep gut instinct that you get when you're presently engaging with something? Does it differ from what you think and feel about it when you are just imagining it, making guesses about it, recalling details of it, or imagining what it will be like? Typically, those projections are fear, and your present reaction is your honest instinct. Overall, your honest gut instinct won't ever frighten you into panic. Your gut is always subtle and gentle, even if it's telling you that something isn't for you. If your gut wants you to know not to see someone or to stop engaging in a relationship or behavior, the impulse will be quiet. That's why it's called the little voice within. So easy to miss. So easy to shout over. Intuitive nudges versus intrusive thoughts. When you start listening to yourself, you might find it hard to tell the difference between thoughts that are helpful and intuitive and thoughts that are damaging and intrusive. They both function similarly. They are immediate, reactive, and offer some kind of previously unseen insight. And yet, they function so completely differently in practice. This is how to start telling the difference between thoughts that are informed by your intuition and thoughts that are informed by fear. Intuitive thoughts are calm. Intruding thoughts are hectic and fear-inducing. Intuitive thoughts are rational. They make a degree of sense. Intruding thoughts are irrational and often stem from aggrandizing a situation or jumping to the worst conclusion possible. Intuitive thoughts help you in the present. They give you information that you need to make a better informed decision. Intruding thoughts are often random and have nothing to do with what's going on in the moment. Intuitive thoughts are quiet. Intruding thoughts are loud, which makes one harder to hear than the other. Intuitive thoughts usually come to you once, maybe twice, and they induce a feeling of understanding. Intruding thoughts tend to be persistent and induce a feeling of panic. Intuitive thoughts often sound loving, while invasive thoughts sound scared. Intuitive thoughts usually come out of nowhere. Invasive thoughts are usually triggered by external stimuli. Intuitive thoughts don't need to be grappled with. You have them, and then you let them go. Invasive thoughts begin a whole spiral of ideas and fears, making it feel impossible to stop thinking about them. Even when an intuitive thought doesn't tell you something you like, it never makes you feel panicked. Even if you experience sadness or disappointment, you don't feel overwhelmingly anxious. Panic is the emotion you experience when you don't know what to do with a feeling. It is what happens when you have an invasive thought. Intuitive thoughts open your mind to other possibilities. Invasive thoughts close your heart and make you feel stuck or condemned. Intuitive thoughts come from the perspective of your best self. Invasive thoughts come from the perspective of your most fearful, small self. Intuitive thoughts solve problems. Invasive thoughts create them. Intuitive thoughts help you help others. Invasive thoughts tend to create a me versus them mentality. Intuitive thoughts help you understand what you're thinking and feeling. Invasive thoughts assume what other people are thinking and feeling. Intuitive thoughts are rational. Invasive thoughts are irrational. Intuitive thoughts come from a deeper place within you and give you a resounding feeling deep in your gut. Invasive thoughts keep you stuck in your head and give you a panicked feeling. Intuitive thoughts show you how to respond. Invasive thoughts demand that you react. How to start truly meeting your needs. Though the term self-care has become an...
Okay. Let me go through the comments because we got like 2 minutes left on this chapter. And I don't want to miss anybody. So, and I seen we got quite a few people that just came in or just commented. Let's see. Okay, right here. I've isolated myself from the outside a long time ago, but I'm much happier now. I have my YouTube community and family. Not I feel you. Okay. Delilah calls me Johnny because her autograph. I was wondering why she say that. Hi, Teddy. How are you? Thanks for joining. Okay. Oh, reptilian mind. Yeah. I was looking at that like, And they're just saying, hey, yes, I can feel something and not react on it. Agreed, beautiful. But they can kick rocks. Did I? Oh, okay. I didn't mix anything. Kim J, how you doing? I think it's my first time seeing you here. Thank you for joining. She says, hi, Life is Shy. And a whole lot of you, I call my YouTube fam, coming over to your live by way of Michelle's Mirror. How you doing, Michelle? Thank you for bringing people over. I appreciate it so much. Beautiful says, I feel you, Delilah. They're saying hello to Kim. Kim saying hello back. Delilah says, this book is so good. And Shy stays on topic, unlike myself. I'll try. My ADHD comes in. I'm trying my best, you guys. Okay. Kim says, hello to Felicia. Beautiful says, every time I have ignored the quiet voice within, I paid the price. This book is so powerful. Yes. And I just jotted something down, just kind of like trying to decipher my intrusive thoughts versus my intuitive thoughts. And this is what I came up with. My intrusive thoughts feel like someone is shaking me, like I'm rattled. I feel like I'm just like my nervous system is all out of whack. But when I have an intuitive thought, it feels like somebody is coming to me with a warm embrace. And you guys tell me how you feel, but that's just what came to mind. Like everything that I was intuitive about, it wasn't nothing that made me scared. It was nothing that made me fearful. It was just like someone came and just, it said, hey, this is what's happening. It felt calm. It felt, nothing to be afraid of, But when my intrusive thoughts came, I feel like I'm spiraling out of control. I'm in my head. I feel like I should be in a corner, just rocking back and forth, all of that stuff. So I'm glad that I'm able to decipher the two, because sometimes it's hard to tell which one, is which. So that's just what I thought. You guys tell me what you think about that. Am I hitting it on the head or if I'm far off? Felicia says, makes sense why eating terrible makes my emotions feel terrible. Yes, my gut is my second brain. Yep. Delilah says, very true, beautiful. The biggest price for ignoring it. Yeah. Yeah, that's why so many of us get upset stomachs when we feel emotional, because our brain and our gut is connected. Okay, I wonder why I have such term. Yep, I wish I could hug my small self. I love your lungs. Felicia, I wish I could too, and say everything would get better. Yep. I was just telling my husband that it's so crazy that this is happening, or I'm listening to this, because this whole week, this last few weeks, I have been spiraling spiraling out of control. And I told him, I said, look, sometimes I just need you to just say, Cheyenne, everything is going to be okay. But I need to do that for myself too. I need to, kind of get myself together and say, look, everything is going to be all right. Hello, Kim. You are welcome. Shy, great book. Yes, this book is really putting a mirror to my face. The term reptilian mind comes from Paul MacLean's now outdated Troon brain theory, which described the human brain as 3 distinct layers, with the deepest, oldest layer being our prehistoric brain. You can, Felicia. I also written letters to baby Delilah, young Delilah, and future Delilah. Oh, I need to do that. I'm going to jot that down. And this thing is so important to me because I have young daughters, and I'm just trying to, be the best mother that I can be. I want to be a healed mother so that I don't have to hear stories from my daughters saying, Mom, you traumatized me. You did this, you did that. And I don't even remember doing those things. Have you guys ever had that where you say something to your parent like, hey, you did and said this to me, and it stuck with you for years on end, and your parents don't even remember it? Like, I don't want to be that parent. So I'm trying to be a healed mom. I'm trying to be emotionally intelligent, and I'm trying to fix myself. What? Shut the door. Shut the door. I'm almost done. Okay. So yeah. Sorry, guys. So many of us come from broken childhoods. How sad. I pray that my kids don't feel any of this. I know I am not a perfect mom, and they press my buttons sometimes, but I try my hardest. Look, me too. I try my best. And one thing that I try to do when I mess up with my girls is that I apologize. Like, I'm sorry. And I've never heard that before. I didn't hear that often. Like, I messed up. So I feel like, okay, at least I can admit my wrongs to my children and try to make better decisions moving forward. Because a lot of times they don't even do anything. I got my kids are really good girls. They are well-mannered. They're really respectable. And, kids will be kids, but they're not bad kids at all. That makes sense, Shahid. Distinction between intuitive and invasive thoughts. Yep. I would definitely do that, Delilah. Yes, Journey, me too. I want my kids to be better than me in every way, emotionally, physically, and psychologically. Yes, I feel the same way. I just want well-rounded human beings. I want them to be able to pick up and leave situations that aren't good for them. I want them to be able to, understand their invasive thoughts versus their intrusive thoughts, and be able to, not deal with people that treats them poorly. Because, I try to be sweet, show them compassion and sweetness. And I notice that they're just like me in that way. And I fear that they will get around a person that will take advantage of them. So, yeah. Okay. Did I go through all the comments? I think I did. Okay, so we're going to finish it out. Like I said, it's 2 minutes left. And then we can decide what's going to go on for next week. I'll let Delilah or one of you girls or whoever wants to do it decide. But let's finish it out.
An umbrella term that more often refers to behaviors that distract one from the actual problem at hand, rather than really taking action to fix the problem at hand. Actual self-care is the most fundamental aspect of meeting your own needs. Aside from your own basic security, your needs are to be nourished, to sleep well, to live in a clean environment, to dress appropriately, and to allow yourself to feel what you feel without judgment or suppression. Finding ways to meet these needs on your own is the foundation of overcoming self-sabotage. You are going to feel far more willing to exercise if you got a good night's sleep. You are going to feel much better about work if you don't have to sit there with an ongoing backache, and instead seek out a professional who can help you with your posture or chiropractic care or massage. You are going to enjoy spending time in your home if your home is organized and meaningful to you. You are going to feel better about yourself each day if you take the time to put yourself together with care. These things are not little things. They are big things. You just can't see it because their impact is that you do them every day. Understanding your needs, meeting the ones you are responsible for, and then allowing yourself to show up so others can meet the ones you can't do on your own will help you break the self-sabotage cycle and build a healthier, more balanced, and fulfilling life. Chapter 4, Building Emotional Intelligence.
Okay. All right. So what you guys think about the chapter? I mean, that one, whew, I really got to work on my triggers. I'm going to listen to it again. I definitely jotted down a lot of things that I need to work on for myself. I mean, I did share some of the things with you guys too, but some stuff I'm going to leave to the chest, it's some deep stuff, some self-repairing that I need to do, And I had a question, and maybe you guys can ask this to yourself or whatever, and I hope it helped because this is what came to mind for me. What do I need to do to master my life? And I think that's going to be like something I'm going to update on a daily or either a monthly or yearly basis once I accomplish certain goals. So this is probably going to be something I need to do for the rest of my life. And you guys probably can do the same if it helps. What do I need to do to master my life and whatever that looks like to you? So I'll give you one thing that I did, maybe a couple things I did jot down. It says, how can I move more logically rather emotionally? So that's probably something I can, work on how to master, my life, because I am very emotional. So, and I think it kind of ties into, your gut instincts and your invasive or intrusive thoughts versus your intuitive thoughts. So that is kind of like, all into one, and many other things too. But I just, I wrote, probably can't see it, but I wrote all of this stuff down as it came to me. And it just feels like I'm having an emotional shower, like I'm cleansing myself as I'm doing this. And I hope it helps you guys too. So let me go in the comments really quick before I get you guys out of here. I don't want to keep you all day on this beautiful Sunday, So, let's see. Damn it, Johnny put me in these. Right. Journey of Life says, I don't think any kids are bad. Right. It's the little things that repeating myself, for example, clean your room, brush your teeth. They're teen boys. So there's that. Oh yeah. Very male. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Beautiful says, very good parenting points. Mine are adults, but I still say sorry when I'm wrong. Yeah. And I do think that that's probably, what a lot of parents could just fix a lot of trauma within their children if they just apologize. Felicia says, and that's amazing, beautiful. Adult children need to hear that the most. Exactly. One second, guys. Okay. Journey of Life says, I love that your mom apologized to you, Delilah. My mom has too, but I don't see action from her now. You know, she has a lot of chances to be present in our lives. I feel like this is better than the therapy. I'm telling you, man. Look, I'm sitting here and I'm writing things down, and I just feel like I'm getting cleansed. I'm letting things go. I'm starting to work through things that I had issue with accepting. And this book, man, thank you so much, Delilah. Delilah suggested this book a few weeks ago. And I just thank you so much, my good sister, because I've been really working through things and it's helping me so much on why I do the things that I do. And I haven't had a chance to sit on somebody's couch yet, like going to a therapist, but this feels good. Delilah says, I know some parents will ignore their kids and tell them that's in the past or it never happened, when they should have just say, I'm sorry, especially to young adults. Yep. I definitely need to conquer my fears and master my life. Yep. This is how we did it in the group therapy. It lives with me to this day. Beautiful says, this chapter was awesome, and especially appreciate the open chat dialogue. That's both insightful and encouraging. Thanks for hosting. I look forward to the next one. Oh man, thanks for joining. I appreciate all you guys joining. Man, this is just really just finding people with, like mind, different backgrounds. We are different ethnic backgrounds as well, and we all kind of have the same story. It's crazy. So we're more alike than we are different, to be honest. This whole book is amazing, beautiful. It is. So far, we're on our third chapter. It's been really hitting home. Thank you, Delilah. I do think apologizing is one thing, but changing is another. And you're right, Journey. I'm so sorry she doesn't understand how amazing you are and how much she's missing out on. Exactly. Oh, man. Oh, I'm so glad. You did a great job, Shai. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. I appreciate you guys so much. Okay, so next is chapter 4. Delilah, do you want to host chapter 4? Or do anyone else want to host it on their channel? Just let me know when, and I'll be there. Yeah, let me know when. Because how many chapters we got in this book? Hold on. I think it's 7 chapters in the book. So we got 3 more chapters. The next chapter is about 50 minutes. Let's see. Yep, it's about 50 minutes. And then chapter 6 is about an hour. Chapter 7 is about an hour. So yeah, it's about an hour for each of the remainder chapters. So yeah, look, I did the last 2, so somebody else can do it, or we can alternate between Delilah and I. It's up to you guys. Yeah. Let me go through the comments. Sorry, guys. My children is loud in the back. Hold on. Let me shut the door. They're starting already. They give me about an hour and a half, and then there they go. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. Delilah is sad she only lives 5 minutes away, but I feel like she has issues she needs to work through and doesn't know how to. Have you ever thought about maybe giving her this book, maybe even giving her an audiobook copy if she would be open to it? Because, this book is very insightful. I could say for myself, it's helping me work through different things that I've dealt with in the past. And maybe she's dealt with things in the past that she just can't really, work through mentally without any help. So maybe that can help. Or maybe therapy. Sometimes it's taboo to say go to a therapist, but it really helps. I suggest therapy to a lot of people. Yes, I agree, Shai. You did great. Thank you guys so much. You're down. There's only a few left. Yes, only a few chapters left. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I try my best. I'm trying to stay on topic, but yeah, y'all know how it goes. Next week with Delilah and then back to Shai. Okay. So yeah. All right. So next week is what time, Delilah? What time? Because I might have, let me see. On the 13th, are you doing it on Saturday? Because I might be in and out. Because I told my sister I'll be with her that day. But if you do it on the 13th, I'll be there. I'll be there. I will be popping in and out if that's okay. And then for, let's see, the 21st, I can do the 21st. Let me see here. So I'm okay with that. Okay, so we are in agreement. Oh, thank you. Are you talking about my little girly? Okay. I will be live Saturday, 10 a.m. Central, but book club starts 11. Okay. Make sure Johnny can wake up. Okay. I have to log off so I can cook, but I sincerely appreciate each of you. Have an amazing week. Thank you so much. You do the same, and I hope to see you next week. Let's see here. Have a great day, beautiful. Everybody is saying bye. Everybody's saying bye. Okay, so I'll get my thumbnails and my link already prepared. Hopefully I do not have any issues as far as like tech issues, but I will be doing chapter 6. I'm sorry. I will be doing chapter 5 and Delilah will be doing chapter 4. And then we'll just figure out the last couple chapters. Maybe we can alternate and finish it out. So as I leave you guys, I'm going to leave you with a question. I'm going to leave you with some homework. Okay, the 20th. Okay. I'll leave you guys with some homework, and you can ask yourself this. What do I need to do to master my life? So I'll see you guys on, I'll probably do a live on next Friday. I don't know. But you guys will be seeing me. Okay. You'll see me on Friday with my content for sure. But I don't know about the live. Sometimes it kind of gets a little messy. So yeah. Oh, on the 20th, come hell or high water, I'll be in Minneapolis. Will you be able to join on the 21st? Will you be able to listen in on that Sunday? Let me know. And Journey says she hopes that it works out. Okay. So yeah, this was so fun. I had such a good time. I loved it. Thank you guys. And I will see you on the next one. Don't forget the question, the homework for yourself. What do I need to do to master my life? So I think I'm going to order a journal too. I need a journal. So bye guys. See you in the next one. It was so much fun. And my jaws are tired because I've been talking too much. And if I don't end it now, I'm going to be talking for another 20 minutes. So bye-bye.